So OpenAI just had their huge DevDay event. And while everyone was talking about all the new features, the real story was something way bigger. They didn't just update an app. They pretty much launched a whole new world for AI. Today, we're going to break down why this wasn't just another update. It's a fundamental shift in how we're all going to interact with artificial intelligence. And that, right there, that's the whole ballgame. We have to stop thinking of ChatGPT as just a place to ask questions. We are talking about a foundational shift, the kind of move that creates entire new industries. The key thing to get your head around is this leap from a simple chat box to a true operating system. So what does that even mean? Calling it an operating system is a huge claim. Let's dig into what an OS for AI actually looks like and why this is such a big deal.
This idea changes absolutely everything. I mean, think back to when the iPhone launched its App Store. All of a sudden, your phone wasn't just for calls anymore, right? It became this platform for games, for banking, for social media, for literally everything. That is the exact same playbook OpenAI is running with here. They're building a central hub where anyone can build and offer their own AI-powered apps, all running right inside ChatGPT and all controlled just by talking to it.
Okay, so how are they actually pulling this off? This wasn't just some single announcement. It was a whole series of really carefully planned releases that all fit together like puzzle pieces. Let's take a look at the 4 big pillars that are really the foundation of this new AI operating system. It really comes down to these 4 things. First, the ability to run actual full-blown apps inside the chat. Second, brand new tools to build powerful AI agents. Third, major upgrades to how AI writes code, which is what builds all these new apps. And finally, of course, way more powerful models to fuel the whole thing. Let's break down what each of these really means for you.
All right, this right here is the absolute heart of the OS moment. OpenAI launched something called an Apps SDK. And what it does is let developers embed their entire applications directly into the chat. And the demos they showed were honestly mind-blowing. We saw Canva generating a full pitch deck. I'm talking slides, graphics, everything, right there in the conversation. We saw Zillow run a complete home search. It's not about jumping out to another website anymore. The whole experience happens right there. Now, this is where the strategy gets really, really clever. They didn't build this from scratch. OpenAI built their system on an existing open standard called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. Just think of it like a universal adapter for AI tools. So why does that matter? Well, because a whole ecosystem of developers is already using it. This means they can get their apps onto the ChatGPT platform almost instantly. OpenAI didn't have to build a network from zero. They just tapped into one that was already thriving. That's a brilliant move.
So if the Apps SDK is the App Store, then AgentKit is the official toolkit for actually building the apps. It's this all-in-one package with a visual builder, testing tools, basically everything a developer needs to create these powerful AI agents. And based on what they showed on stage, they made it look, well, honestly, almost too easy.
8 minutes. That's it. Live on stage, an engineer built and deployed a fully working AI agent in less time than it takes most of us to make a pot of coffee. And this isn't just about being fast. This just dramatically lowers the barrier to entry. You don't need a huge team of engineers anymore. A single person can now build something incredibly sophisticated, incredibly fast. And this demo with HubSpot really shows the real-world value perfectly. You see, it's one thing for an AI to know about stuff on the internet. It is a total game changer when it knows about your world. The demo showed an agent pulling live customer data and using marketing tools from HubSpot. This is the leap, when agents can connect to real, live business data and actually get work done. And of course, none of this works without some serious horsepower under the hood. OpenAI released new models. There's GPT-5, which is the powerful standard for most jobs. And then there's the incredibly capable and, yeah, pretty expensive GPT-5 Pro for really complex reasoning. They even put Sora 2, their video generation model, into the API. So developers can now build agents that not only think and act, but can also create professional-looking video on demand. Wild stuff. Okay, so we've seen the what, the tools, the models, the platform itself. Now for the really important part, the so what. What does this SOS moment actually mean for all the builders, the developers, and the businesses out there in the AI space? Well, it really all boils down to 3 game-changing shifts. First, a massive brand new distribution channel just opened up. Second, the agents on this platform are about to get a whole lot smarter. And third, we're watching the birth of a really powerful network effect.
Let's start with distribution, because this one's huge. In the past, if you built some amazing new app, your next and frankly hardest job was finding users. You had to build an audience from absolute scratch. Well, that entire problem, it just changed overnight. 800 million. That's the number of weekly active users that developers can now tap into from day one. By building an agent that runs inside ChatGPT, you get immediate, instant access to one of the largest digital audiences on the entire planet. That is just a monumental shortcut to success.
And the other two shifts, they create this incredible compounding cycle. First, you have richer capabilities. So as more apps like Canva or Zillow join the platform, every single agent automatically gets smarter because it can now use their tools. And second, the network effect. Because these agents are available through an API, they can be plugged into other platforms, creating this massive web of interconnected AI that just keeps growing more and more powerful.
So this all sounds incredible, right? But look, we've seen ambitious platforms try and fail before. What makes this different? Why is the ChatGPT operating system so uniquely set up to succeed where maybe others have stumbled in the past?
I think it really comes down to three key things. First, the timing is perfect. The AI models themselves are finally powerful enough to deliver truly useful applications. Second, building on open standards. Like we talked about, using MCP was a masterstroke. That means the developer community is ready to go on day one. And finally, the developer experience. Let's be honest. OpenAI has a great reputation for building tools that builders genuinely love to use.
And all of this brings us to the most exciting question of all. Just like the iPhone had Instagram and the PC had the spreadsheet, every new operating system has that one killer app that just completely defines it. With the doors now flung wide open and 800 million potential users just waiting, the race is officially on. So the question we're all left with is, what is that killer app going to be, and who is going to build it?